A's Extra.
Welcome back to the Anglers Extra pregame show. Chatham in first place YD at Veterans Field for the second time in less than a week. It's time for the Manager's Show with Chatham manager Tom Holliday. Emmanuel Berbari with you. Tom, yesterday at Hyannis, 3 straight 2-out base hits in the second inning that propelled your team. How refreshing was that?
Yeah, that was different, and it was lively, and you know, guys really enjoyed that. It brought a lot of energy to the dugout, and you know, when you have a bunch of guys kind of like feeling for contact, trying to find their stroke and making adjustments to wooden bats, and you know, the average lighting up here and all that. I mean, you just sit there, and when you get one of those innings, you say, wow, maybe this is what we're going to do. So you look forward to playing again and doing it again.
Speaking of adjusting to wooden bats, your pitching staff 19 strikeouts last night. What do you make of that number?
That's crazy. I mean, guys just don't make adjustments to contact. I mean, it's going on all over baseball, but I mean, when you're an amateur and you don't make contact, how's anybody supposed to be able to say that you can hit? I mean, maybe there's things that big leaguers can do that amateurs can't do. Can't make contact. I mean, how can you play? I mean, it's hard to manufacture runs when hitters don't put the ball in play, but God, 19 out of 27. Maybe that's the reason they only scored 1 run.
Speaking of evaluating hitting, you mentioned yesterday you're evaluating the first base lot while Caden Grice plays for Team USA. You pencil in Lyle Miller-Green at first base for the first time today. What are you looking for in that competition? Is it pure hitting? Is it defense?
I don't really know if it's competition. I mean, I don't think that goes on here. We don't have enough players to create competition. They do that all year at school. That's 9 months they compete. Most of the time when you bring a guy up here, you're going to play him. And I'm looking for a right-handed bat. You know, I want to get him and Logan Britt both in the lineup against a left-hander. And I like DeLeo out there, and I like Trinkle out there. I mean, I like our outfielders. And now I like Hogan out there. It's like, you know, the more games we play now, our outfielders are going to be happier and happier. And I'm trying not to overwork our infielders. And when we get Castagnozzi back, it's probably going to still take 3 or 4 days when he gets back to get him on the yard. I think defensively we can be pretty good on the infield too. So, you know, what am I looking at for Miller Green? I mean, it's either him or Logan Britt to bring in there and put at first base, because the add-on guys we have, Mendham's a left-hand hitter, and, you know, Hogan is not a first baseman. He is an outfielder. So, you know, it's a logical play. It's either him or Britt, and I'm going to go with Miller Green tonight, and we'll see what it looks like.
Speaking of Hogan and putting the bat on the ball, last night he gets a base hit, takes second, takes third, scores with the infield in on an aggressive base running play. How much can that spark your team?
Sparked me, you know, and again, I mean, this is another guy that played very little baseball this year at Vanderbilt, and boy, his tools are good, and I know Vanderbilt's really good. Sometimes just guys like Hogan, like just to get on the yard, excites him. I mean, the minute that I walk in the ballpark, I look out and I got a guy like just always doing something to get better, and his energy is contagious if you want it to be, or if you let it. It lights me up to see kids that excited to play baseball. And you know, I just go back to the phone call, and I mean, he was getting ready to take off to go play in another league, and I just said, hey, you know, I need another bat, I need another outfielder, and it was like, when? How do I get there? You know, and he knew all about the Cape, but he's a good player, and I don't know, 15, 20 at bats during the year, that makes this adjustment really hard, and I've got a lot of those guys, a lot of guys that either didn't play very much during the year or played junior college baseball, and this league can humble you, you know, really bad. So we're trying to hang around until they get comfortable, and if we can, you know, get to 500 and maybe get a couple games over and maybe get some of those guys back from Team USA. If not, then I'm going to play what I got, and we're going to enjoy it. We're going to teach them as much as we can, and we're going to make them better. And you know, if we don't win enough games to qualify for the playoff, then I'll jump in my van and start heading to Oklahoma.
Speaking of hanging in the playoff race, the pitching staff has kept you in a lot of games. Alex McFarland gets the ball tonight. Across 6 innings, only 1 run allowed so far this season. What has stuck out to you about his outing so far?
He's a different arm action, and I think sometimes guys like that you really have to go back and forth. Is this guy a closer? Is he a middle reliever? Just what is he? And after talking to their pitching coach at Miami, and he's a good one. He's like, he says, man, if that breaking ball gets any better, we have a special guy here. And so I think Cookie and I have talked about him. It's a really odd arm slot to throw the breaking ball out of, and so we don't want to hurt him. We'd like to get his elbow up a little higher so he can get a little bit more extension out over the ball when he's pitching. And we got 6 weeks to do it, and he's a very open-minded guy, easy to work with. But boy, he's got God gave him a great arm, and that's where it starts. So little by little, every time out, we're looking for a little bit more improvement. And tonight we start him instead of bringing him in the middle, and we'll try Keene in the middle instead of starting him. And normally in this ballpark, it's hard to see the ball early because of the White House in our hitting eye, the white hitting eye we have. And then the twilight, a lot of guys like pitching the twilight because the transition. And he's a slider. Keene's a slider ball guy. And then at the end, it's about winning and losing. So, we'll come with WinQuest tonight, and we like our bullpen. I don't think we're working our bullpen enough, and it's going to slow down because we got the draft coming. It's gonna pull somebody out of the threesomes, and we'll go to twosomes and the bullpen. So we're headed in that direction. The draft's going to hit. We know it. It's going to hurt us. We know it, and we're going to be prepared for it.
Tom, thanks for your time. Good luck tonight.
Okay, bud. You got it.
That's Chatham manager Tom Holliday on the Manager's Show. Let's send it back up to Ben Schulman as the Anglers Extra pregame show rolls on.